Hello, today we're going to learn some strategies on how to draw a leaf. Doing a single object study is a great way to improve your hand-eye coordination and your observation skills. In this video, we'll review gesture drawing, shape drawing, and contour drawing. Have fun drawing a leaf. Hello, today we're going to do a leaf drawing. So I'm going to actually start off by just doing a gesture drawing. So a gesture drawing is kind of a quick, fast approach to drawing. It's a great way to warm up. So one of the things that I always tell people to do when you're thinking about doing a gesture drawing is kind of look for the big shapes and the most important things first. Don't get caught up into small details, and then just take your time to constantly move, right? So this is, you should always spend more time actually looking at your subject than your paper. Okay, so that's a great warm-up activity for you. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to convert this into a line drawing, okay? So there's a few different things that we could do. We could very lightly go through and block out the shapes. We want to think about sizing, proportion. So you could give yourself like a kind of a basic outline without the details. And what that will do, help you kind of place where everything goes. Then what I'll do is I'll focus on the contours. I will, when you think about contour drawing, you're thinking about the outlines and edges. You want to spend more time looking at your subject, which in this case is a leaf. Okay, so it's good practice to look at nature and draw things that are botanical, flowers, leaves. You'll find some really interesting organic shapes and designs. Your point of view in which you look at something is also important. All right, so now that I have kind of my basic shape and my rough outlines, I could go back into it and go over it one more time and start getting some of those details in. So I'm feeling pretty confident with what I have so far. So I'm going to go with my more confident lines. Use some implied lines on the inside, which would be dotted lines. And I could go back in and fix up any sort of mistakes that I did. Try to hold my pen or pencil back to about here so it's a little bit more loose and lifelike. If you hold your pencil or pen too tight, you're going to be really wobbly when you draw. So again, I always like to focus on the main shapes first. Again, I'm trying to spend most of my time looking at what I'm drawing. Now here, you could, where that hole is, you could look at the negative space also when you draw. So that's another important tip to think about. Don't only look at the positive space, the object itself, but when you're drawing, spend some time looking at those negative spaces. Now, I'd usually use a smaller pen for this stuff, but just for the sake that I have it right now in my hands, I'm just going to use this fine point marker that I'm working with. But you could use like an ultra fine point. Now some of the inner details, you could do what is known as implied line. Think of a dotted line as an implied line where you don't have to complete the line. So that's something to always consider when drawing. You know, a lot of times people are so heavy with their pen or their pencil that they you know, overwork some of the finer details. So if you're drawing maybe your open hand and you're trying to get all the wrinkles inside there, you could work with lighter or implied lines. Line qualities, you have thickness to consider, how much pressure you put down, and so forth. So if you're using a pencil, right, you could do that. You could play around with different pressures. Now, we could go through and actually weight line. We could create different thicknesses and give it some character. We could weight maybe one side a little bit heavier than the other. So this is a way for you to kind of enhance your drawings a little bit by playing around with the thickness as well. So a line could take a roller coaster ride. It could go from thin to thick at points. So hopefully these tips helped you out a little bit. You know, I always think it's good practice to warm yourself up first. You know, do gesture drawings. I prefer using a combination of blocking out shape and then getting into my contour approach. There are all sorts of different strategies out there for you to study and observe, but this is you know, a single object study is a great way to work on your perception skills, how you see things, study things, and you know, doing these little skills will also help with your hand-eye coordination as well. So I hope this was helpful for you, and enjoy drawing a leaf. Thank you for watching my video today. Enjoy drawing leaves. I suggest that you draw something for somebody else, make somebody's day, and be a good person. Enjoy.